April 20th, 2010. A drilling platform in the Gulf of Mexico, 250 miles from the nearest shore. Nighttime. In the background is the sound of machinery, the low hum of engines at depth. 11,000 feet below the seafloor, a mile of pressurized ocean above it, the Macondo well is almost finished. On the upper deck, executives from BP and Transocean are raising glasses. 7 years without a lost time, safety incident, speeches, handshakes, pride. 3 hours later, the fire that reached the sky. This is not a story about an accident. In the months before the explosion, engineers inside BP flagged the Macondo well as a high risk. The company was behind schedule and over budget. Decisions were made to cut time and cut costs. They used fewer centralizers than engineers recommended. They chose a faster cementing method with less testing. On the morning of April 20th, they skipped a full cement bond test that would have taken 10 hours. Each decision was logged, approved, and fired. The well was not safe. They drilled it anyway. The Macondo well sat under 5,000 feet of ocean, then bored 13,000 feet into the seafloor. At that depth, pressures are extreme. During drilling, the well had already produced multiple gas kicks, unwanted surges of high-pressure gas pushing up from below. Engineers noted them. The timeline was behind the schedule. The rig was costing BP approximately $1 million per day. The kicks were managed and the work continued. On the evening of April 20th, the crew performed a negative pressure test, a final check to confirm the well was stable before capping it temporarily. The test showed anomalous pressure readings. A BP company man and a Transocean tool pusher reviewed the data. They accepted an interpretation that said the readings were normal. The test had not passed. They signed off and continued. At 9:47 p.m., the well began flowing. At 9:49 p.m., a column of drilling mud erupted from the rotary table on the drill floor. Within seconds, it reached the engine rooms. The blowout preventer, the last mechanical failsafe on the wellhead, failed to close. Methane gas hit the diesel engines. They overrevved and exploded. The Deepwater Horizon was fully engulfed in flames within minutes. In every news report about the Deepwater Horizon, the number that led was 4.9 million barrels. The number that followed was $65 billion. The number that came first was 11. Jason Anderson, Aaron Dale Berkey, Donald Clark, Stephen Ray Curtis, Gordon Lewis Jones, Roy Wyatt Kemp, Carl Dale Clappinger Jr., Keith Blair Manuel, Dewey Allen Rivette, Shane Michael Rochta, Adam Isaac Weiss. Average age 37. The Deepwater Horizon burned for 36 hours. The Coast Guard could not extinguish it. On April 22nd, Earth Day, the rig sank. The wellhead on the seafloor, 1 mile down, was now open to the ocean. BP attempted more than a dozen interventions. A containment door, top killer, junk shot. None of them worked. For 87 days, approximately 4.9 million barrels of crude oil, which is 210 million gallons, flowed freely into the Gulf of Mexico. It was the largest accidental marine oil spill in recorded history. Beaches across Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida were coated in crude. Fishing grounds were closed. Wildlife died by the tens of thousands. The Presidential Commission that investigated the disaster was direct. The blowout was not the result of series of random mistakes. It was the result of decisions made by BP, Transocean, and Halliburton. Decisions that prioritized speed and cost over safety, embedded in the culture of deepwater drilling industry. BP ultimately paid more than $65 billion in cleanup costs, Fines and settlements, the largest corporate payout in United States history. No executives from BP, Transocean, or Halliburton was convicted of criminal charges related to the deaths of 11 men. Several prosecutions were attempted. None succeeded. The Gulf of Mexico is still not fully recovered. Scientists continue to document damage to deep-sea ecosystem, coral beds, and fish populations. The Macondo well was permanently sealed. The Deepwater Horizon is on the bottom of the ocean, 1 mile down. And somewhere tonight, on another rig, in another body of water, a crew is drilling a well. And the safety record they're celebrating was earned one careful day at a time by people who also believed nothing would go wrong.